Suspension invert row with power focus. What we're going to be doing here is an inverted row with the suspension trainer, and we are going to be putting a lot of focus on the concentric part or the actual pull of the row, and we're wanting to do it as quickly as possible. So take your time in between the reps. I don't care how long you kind of like rest in between the reps at the bottom. We want to make sure that that pull is really fast, okay? Super, super fast. That's where the focus is. So a few things to keep in mind about this type of row. If you do not have your suspension trainer hanging where you can get like underneath the anchor point, you're not going to be in the exact same position as me. So if you have it like hooked into a doorway, it's gonna look a little bit more like this right here, and that's okay. I just wanna make that really clear that I'm able to get underneath my trainer because I have the anchor is such that I can kind of go this way. Now, we want to think about when we pull, I don't want you to pull with your shoulders, okay? We need to make sure we're pulling with our back, and we're gonna keep a really nice stacked position. So as you get underneath or you get into position to do your row, know that the more horizontal you are, so you can see how my back is like horizontal, parallel to the ground. But if I am up a little bit more, so like right here, it's going to decrease the demand a bit. So make sure you meet yourself where you're at as far as the angle of your back. The more horizontal your back is, the more challenging this is going to be. So we're gonna get into position here. Make sure you're not clenching your butt, okay? So I don't want you clenching your butt and kind of low back coming up. We're gonna exhale, let the ribs come down, and then you wanna think about pulling not like this, okay? We need to think about pulling the elbows down to your hips. That is one of the best ways that I have found to really take this out of the upper traps and make sure that we're getting really nice connection with the back. So as you pull, think about pulling your elbows down to your waist, okay? So notice when I do that, I get this really nice kind of like lengthening here instead of pulling and then having the shoulder roll forward, which we don't really want a lot of that. So as you're pulling, make sure you go fast, okay? Super fast. That's the whole point of this, is we're developing power. And if you need to wait a few seconds, like at the bottom in between the reps, that's fine, okay? Take your time. Another really good tip is that as you're pulling, make sure that you get bottom up tension versus top down. Top down tension means you're kind of gripping with those upper abs, and bottom up tension means that we're getting a lot of really great TVA strength, and we want that a little more so than that top down tension, because we tend to have enough of that. We need usually a little more strength right here to kind of help us out, especially if we're in more of an anterior pelvic tilt, which I know that's where like I really like to live. So that TVA will help us to get a little more anchoring of the pelvis in the front. All right, so that is your power pull with suspension trainer.